Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Savaged, unfiltered.
We're going to take a moment of silence because as of yesterday, one of the family members of Noah Chavez out of Indiana, Elwood, Indiana, the city of Elwood, he was ambushed by a 63-year-old male last night while responding to a domestic abuse call. Were called out. The guy called the police department, and they went out to the scene. He took about 3 steps before the guy opened fire on him, and apparently the guy came to a testimony stating that he just wanted to kill a police officer. So the Noah Chavez was brutally ambushed last night, and we're just going to take a moment of silence for his family as they reached out to my podcast for a prayer. So I feel like this is respectable that we give a moment of silence for him and the city police of Elwood. So we're going to give about 5 seconds of silence. So I'd like to say thank you for the silence. Michael, what do you think about what happened in Elwood, Indiana?
Well, before we kick off with the main topic here today, I want to reach out to that family. I want to reach out to any possible friends or colleagues, work colleagues, and basically give you my sympathy and my thoughts as you're, going through some hard times, unfortunate times. Sas, this is not a first. Unfortunately, we've seen events like this, unfold. So, it's unfortunate that it happened, and there's not much I could say about this. I mean, like I said, we see these type of things happen every single day in this country, and it's unfortunate that we live in a country like that has such a high, violence level.
Yeah,
and But hold on, Sas. It could have been avoidable. It could have been avoidable, and that's how we have to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting thing that I want to know. Okay. First of all, is why the guy called the police department not once but 3 different times.
Yeah.
And according to the reports and stuff that's coming out and stuff, he had run past with the police officers before, and he despised them so much, and that according to my sources, one of the deputies that reached out to me, he came and said that he just wanted to kill police officers. And even when the police officers did show up and when they did a code 1042, so for anyone that doesn't know what a code 1042 means, it's a final send-off to a police officer. It's a final send-off. It means that they are dismissed from the post, and it means officers down. So when that was dismissed last night, or when that was read out last night, the police officers went to his house, and it was much more of a bigger presence. And then he still had the audacity to open fire on a whole bunch of police officers, and then went to his truck and then had them a police chase. And then 3 counties over, he finally crashed his truck, but tried to take his own life, but failed to.
Wow.
So, the sad part is that, I mean, it broke my heart. And now Noah Chavez, it was a 24-year-old police officer, a Marine veteran, and left a 1-month-old baby boy that just yeah.
See, that's life. Life could be looked at so precious, Sauce. I tell everybody, you never know, what tomorrow brings you. You have to cherish the current time of today first before you worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow could be, literally your last day on this earth.
Yeah.
And I mean, look what happened, to this gentleman. He left behind a 1-month-old baby, and he left his wife, behind.
Yeah.
Just think about how hard that is now for her to now raise this child by herself without her partner, without her husband. You know what I mean? I can imagine what she's going through.
So, this just, when I heard about this and the deputies, so my ministry is working alongside with the deputies and with the police officers. So I just want to tell you, for those listeners, with the podcast, not only do I do a podcast, but I also do ministry and outreach ministry. So that's why I want to say, I am so blessed that we could be doing this as well. And, we can co-host with Michael and stuff, and I can be a little bit, a lot of people think that I'm on your show and stuff. They think I'm a little bit like way out there, and they think I just only focus on political stuff and Jesus stuff. But I do much more than that. I'm reaching out, with compassion and stuff. And
Sas, was this gentleman, was he part of your of your ministry? Was he part of your community there, your church community?
So he was actually one of my listeners. He listens.
Oh wow!
He was one of my listeners, and he reached out, and I said, hey, if anybody, what I always end, I'm like, hey, I'm always open if anyone wants to reach out to me for a prayer and stuff, and I'm willing to go and pray with you guys over the phone, or if you want me to go visit and stuff, we'll work something out where that can happen, because you guys matter. So what happened was that he found me actually on Facebook, and that's where he reached me out at.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, hey, but it's still sad. Sas, I hope you don't mind, but I gotta
let's change the topic. So
I gotta turn the topic here, because the main topic today we're going to be talking about is what is quiet quitters. I seen that come out just earlier today through Liz Wheeler. If anybody follows Liz Wheeler, if you don't know who Liz Wheeler is, she does a tremendous podcast, entitled the Liz Wheeler Show. And she basically came out earlier today and a little bit into yesterday on her show, talking about quiet quitters. What is a quiet quitter? We're going to get into that, folks. But first, I want to get some information here for my listeners of Florida. Yes, the listeners that tune into the show on Florida, guys. We have a 2022 primary election coming up on Tuesday. That's right.
Yeah.
23rd is the one of the primaries here in the nearby counties of where I live. Just east of me, county of Brevard County, Florida. The Republican of Brevard is holding their primary election. That's right, guys. I'm going to read off some of the people that are running, and what they're running for in some of the seats. Now we have Wilton Simpson, that's basically running for the seat for the Commissioner of Agriculture. We also have Chase Tremont, that's also going for the state representative of District 30, as well as Christopher Hadaway, that's also going for the county commissioner for District 4. As well as David W. Armstrong, that will be running for the school board member in District 1, as well as Megan Wright, that's going to be going for the school board member in District 2, as well as our last two, which will be Jean Trent for the school board member in District 5, as well as Kate Campbell for that same district. So we have like a split there for that same district there of District 5. Got some great people running for the county that's just east of me in Brevard. That covers folks from basically Cape Canaveral, Florida, all the way down to South Brevard, which is basically Palm Bay, Florida. Tremendous area. A lot of people come to calling it over the years, the Space Coast of Florida, because there's a lot of history in Brevard. Sure, it holds the historic history from our NASA program, from the Apollo landings, and when the man first landed on the moon in the 60s. But this is a tremendous thing, Sas. What's your thoughts on this, real quick, before we go into the main topic for today?
No, I think I'd like to see new candidates running. I'm a huge advocate.
Hey guys, if you're looking for a steak, I know it's hard to find steak, right? A lot of restaurants that just overcooked, undercooked, just not to your taste buds, right? You want that juicy steak. Look no further than Omaha Steak. I love them, guys. Love them. If I didn't love them, why wouldn't I be promoting them on the podcast today? Go over to Omaha Steaks, okay? They are phenomenal, guys. The juiciest steak you'll ever taste in your life, okay? A lot of people are like, well, how does it get delivered to your house? With gnats and bugs going to get into it. And no. It's not, you don't have to worry about all that. It is in a sealed, perishable bag delivered to your house. So you don't have to worry about the gnats and the bugs get into it. It's fresh from the time they ship it from their distribution center to the time it arrives at your house. The juiciest steak you'll ever have in your life, guys. Check them out today. Omaha Steaks. Love them. They're phenomenal.
Unfiltered.
And different perspective on the school board. And speaking of school board, have you considered running for the district that you live in for a school board? Would you ever consider it?
I haven't given some thoughts. Maybe not a school board, but something else. I have thought about going into politics. Maybe on a state senate level, but I mean that's still in the talks. I haven't really made a decision. I've thought about it several times, quite recently, but I have no idea yet, Sauce. That's a very very tough decision to make.
Yeah. Well, hey, I definitely can tell you this, though. If you ever do decide to run for office, you'll have my public endorsement. And
that means a lot. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that means a lot. That means a lot. I know I would have a lot of support, from, my loyal listening base that tunes into the show. A lot of recommendations, a lot of even suggestions have came across, with some of the listeners that tune into the show. But, guys, I just wanted to get into some of the Republicans that are running for these seats here for the different districts. I know there's two of them that's catching eye. You have Megan Wright that I mentioned that's running for the school board in District 1. She's catching a lot of attention for District 1, as well as Chase Tremont that's running for county commissioner for District 2, as well as Wilton Simpson. Now, Wilton Simpson, guys, if you don't know who he is, he has a lot of influence, not only in Brevard County here in Florida, but he has a lot of influence, Sauce, in the entire state of Florida. And that would be Wilton Simpson that's running for state representative for District 30 here in Florida. He has a lot of great endorsements coming through. I know. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that he had an endorsement possibly coming from the governor himself, Ron DeSantis. So if he gets that endorsement, that's automatically a win for Wilton Simpson. Yeah.
So do you think? Okay. So speaking of this election, speaking of Florida election, I was looking at polls in the Florida. It looks like from the point of it looks like Ron DeSantis is down in the polls. Mark Rubio is down by 10 points. What is your thoughts on the polls that are coming out stating that it's going to be a blue wave in Florida?
A blue wave in Florida? Well, first, I don't know where you're getting that from, Sauce. I'm not trying to say that in a mean way. Fox is turning liberal, and I hate to say, the only thing that's really saving Fox right now is their app based content coming off of Fox Nation. Fox Nation is saving that network basically right now with Tucker and the others, Laura Ingraham and stuff, and Hannity. But a blue wave in Florida, I don't think that's happening. Basically Ron DeSantis is pretty much the leader of the Republican Party in Florida. A lot of people look at basically Ron DeSantis as securing the Republican Party in Florida, and basically it's going to be a red wave. Florida's been red for the last 30 years, and it's going to continue saying that way. There's more and more Hispanics that are in favor of the Republican Party more than ever, especially in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. There's a strong threshold of Republican Hispanics that vote Republican every year. Just in that South Florida region. So blue wave, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, and here's the reason why I'm asking is because you have a lot more residents from New York and from California that are moving to Florida. And so they bring, of course, the radical agendas. That's why that's why I'm like, okay, those posts can't be right. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh wait, but they haven't changed. You know, they escaped one state to ruin another state. But yeah,
Yeah.
so with this quiet quitting.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say I want to
yeah.
spend the last 10 minutes on this topic. You know, what's your thoughts, Sas, with this with this stuff coming out of the Liz Wheeler show, which she mentioned about the quiet quitting. What's your thoughts on that? I don't know if you even heard of that concept.
Well, I think I've first of all, more of my generation is doing that. More and more, my generation is doing that, and I find it to be that's very disturbing to hear, and that's very shocking. The reason why it's very disturbing and shocking is because I can see why they're doing it quietly, because they're trying to get into that unemployment and dabble into the unemployment, and they're trying to get into like government welfare, so that's going to be more taken care of it. It's very well evident if you look at, or also another thing is that their family is dying. You have more and more people that maybe accepted the vaccine, and that their mom and dad died, and so they left them a whole bunch of cash and wealth. So what does their mind think? Oh, okay, I'm going to be great for the rest of my life, so I'm just going to quit my job quietly and just ride off in the sunset. But then that leaves a gaping hole in the employment sector. You know. Now, what do you think? Do you think that's kind of skewy mind, or is that kind of
proud by storm? It has to do with doing less work. You're shocked. I know. Quiet quitting is the practice now favored by young people that entails putting in less effort at work and simply doing the bare minimum. This quiet quitting trend is backed by Gallup research that suggests in the first quarter of 2022, only 31% of Gen Z workers felt engaged at work. And though most rational folks would recognize this as problematic, some of these quiet quitters refer to it as working smarter, not harder. No, it's called being lazy AF, and it's what happens when parents allow their entitled little brat kids to grow up on TikTok and Instagram believing it's cute and cool to be a mediocre human so long as they can call it something that sounds important. At some point, boomers, Gen Xers, and millennials are going to retire or die, and that's the workforce we're going to be left with. God save us. If these brats want to quietly quit something, let it be voted.
Not on a stupid level and not on a hard level. No, easy level. They're doing it on a lazy level because they're coming into these places, whether they're minimum wage jobs such as like a McDonald's or a Burger King or whatever, and they're on their cell phones more than actually working. I could say, for instance, here I was just at a McDonald's just a couple days ago, and I'm waiting in line. And, the woman at the counter was like, sir, we do have, kiosks that you can order yourself. I said, yeah, I understand that, but I'd rather order the old fashioned way. I'm an old fashioned guy, back in my day, we didn't have that shit. You order at the counter and the woman takes your order and then you wait a couple minutes and your food and your order's done. But, this is what they're turning to, Sas. They're turning into these self-checkouts, these kiosks. And for what? For people to come into work so they can play on their phones? Like, is that the generation we've become? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and how about this? Better yet, how about this? Okay, they are willing to hire. They're willing to switch over to kiosks when, for instance, our McDonald's in Westfield and stuff, or McDonald's in the city I live in, they said no to a veteran because they said, well, we already got enough employment, but they're like. And also once they put the kiosks in, they let go half of the people. They let go 5 people. So at one kiosk, let's go 3 people. So how about that? So every time you see a kiosk, remember that kiosk just took 3 individuals' jobs away. And it's hindering the employment of people that actually need the jobs. I understand if you're like, for instance, as a veteran, I understand this, if a veteran has PTSD and if they have like some kind of a disability, that McDonald's might be the best job for them. Well, sure. If they just want to do customer service, that's fantastic. My family, or as a person in the military, I had to work with a veteran that was let go because of a kiosk and because of automated work and thing. You want to talk about how devastated he was? He's like, well, that was my only source of income because I didn't expect to be let go. And he came back from Iraq, and the sad part is that because his kiosk took his job, I call it the kiosk suicide. So the reason why I call it the kiosk suicide is because he pretty much lost his reason for going outside his house every day. So he ended up taking his life. That's the sad part of modern day kiosks and automated work things. It's really sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. You look at kiosks, these self-checkouts, we can talk about, the nation's largest private employer, Walmart. I was just at Walmart a couple days ago as well too, and they're putting more of these self-checkouts in Walmart. I looked at it and I'm like, there's only actually 3 regular old traditional checkouts in Walmart now. They want us to basically check out ourselves. Well, that's great and dandy, but you're gonna give me a paycheck for doing that? I mean,
Well, and not only this, but Walmart is coming out with a new machine to stock its own shelves. To have a robot restock the shelves because they're having and also Walmart at Madison's Walmart, they don't have people. They don't have anybody cleaning anymore. How do you say that word? They have robots that clean the machines for you and stuff. They go inside the bathrooms and they do it. I mean, that's pretty sad when you think about it. That's more jobs. But what happens if Walmart is purposely turning to automated services so that it really hinders our work environment, so people have to depend on the government? What do you think about that? That's why they're quitting so much.
What does that say for our country? That's my thought on it. Where are we going to go? Exactly. Where are we going to go as a nation? Are we going to become more reliable on AI? Are we going to? Is that going to be our nation? Is that the fate of our nation? We're going to be more of an AI nation on artificial intelligence, like robots and stuff like that. I mean, that's my view on it.
I hope not. That's my whole thing, because we can't be reliant. I hate to say it, but not everybody can be reliant on AI. Well, unless if you're the IRS, and then if you're the IRS, then and then we can hire you at any moment. Yeah. But it's just really sad to think about, because I just look at it from a ministry standpoint. We look at people that are either recovering addicts.
Hey, Florida. Is your broadband where it's supposed to be? Is your internet as fast as it should be? Well, take the 1-minute test. Head over to visitfasterflorida.org and find out today, guys. Tremendous broadband for a faster Florida, for a faster
Savage,
unfiltered.
And that is hindering their ability to get a job.
Yeah, we're starting to see that every single day. Yeah, every single day. But it's sad. It really is. It's really, really sad. And unfortunately, that's what our country has become. A lazy, ungrateful, country. And I hate to say it, but it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's going to get lazy, unpatriotic country.
Oh, yeah.
And
by far.
Well, and the whole thing is, what are we going to do during the time of war? We're going to rely on government to make all the weapons. Are we going to rely on Santa to make all the weapons? Are we going to rely on the IRS to take care of us? No.
Oh, hold that thought, Sauce. We actually have some breaking news here coming into the show, ladies and gentlemen. This just came out a few moments ago. Florida Today, which is an association of Fox 5 Orlando, put this piece out that now is saying that former vice president, folks, and I have to get this on the airwaves because there's a lot of people that are not familiar with this information. Like I said, guys, breaking news here, breaking news on the show. Former Vice President Mike Pence just said this just earlier today, that he did not take any classified information when he left office. Pence says he didn't take classified material that's linking towards the Mar-a-Lago story. Breaking news, guys. What's your thoughts on that, Sauce, as I'm reading this? I mean, it's literally coming out as we were talking about this topic with the quiet quitting.
Do you think? I think he took some classified information. I think so.
You think so?
Oh, I 100% agree. And the only reason why he's saying that is so he has the back.
Savaged, unfiltered.
So of course they're going to say, "Hey, I didn't take any classified information." You deceive the public once again. I've been a number one scrutinizer of Mike Pence, and I don't believe a single thing that comes out of his mouth.
Well, he's this. Fox 5 Orlando just put out a piece right now saying, I have my TV screen, guys, on mute as I'm literally trying to, read the captions here of what they're saying. But a piece coming out of Delmont, Iowa, the former Vice President Mike Pence saying that he didn't take the classified information when he left office. Now, this disclosure, guys, which would typically be unremarkable for a former vice president, is now notable given that the FBI agents seized classified and top information from his former bosses, obviously Florida State, just back on August 8th, earlier this month, while investigating the potential violations of, 3 different federal laws they're saying, what President Trump supposedly violated, which I think is all bullshit, if you ask me. Now, despite the inclusion of material marked as top secret, Mike Pence and his team is saying that if his team did take any classified information, it was done on an accidental purpose. How the hell is how can you do that on an accidental purpose?
You can't do that on accident. Oh, whoops! I accidentally robbed the bank. I didn't know. Whoops.
Right.
Oh, whoops! I accidentally. What did I do? Oh yeah, whoops! I accidentally married my mom. I didn't mean to do that. Whoopsies.
Well, this is coming from a reaction. Remember back in January 6th event, where Pence basically said that he was targeted at the Capitol that day by angry rioters, including some who chanted "Hang Mike Pence," which a lot of people are questioning that Trump had a lot of influence and involvement over that, which I think is BS, if you ask me.
Yeah, you and I. Yep, I think it's complete farce.
But now get this here. I want to close this out because this is breaking news, guys. I don't mean to get into this. I wanted to get into the quiet quitting, but I think we all know where that's leading to a lazy, ungrateful generation of this generation of children today. But Pence also, Sauce, is now saying that Pence also called on Attorney General Merrick Garland to disclose more details on what led authorities to conduct the search. He wants to know why authorities led the search. Well, what's that saying about Pence?
Maybe he dropped the intel on him. Maybe he snitched.
You think he's the informant?
I won't put past to it. You know how we came up with one of Ivanka's husband? I'm saying, what happens if it was Mike Pence after all?
Oof. I don't know if the nation can take that.
Boy, that's something. I'm going to leave your viewers to think about that. What happens?
Yeah, we're going to close it off like that. Guys, for those who's just tuning in, probably wondering why we're closing it out roughly around like 30 minutes here into the show. Guys, these are bonus episodes titled Savage Brief. We try to get into the most trending topics, the latest breaking news coming into the headlines, and we try to deliver it as fast as possible. Joining us today is the co-host here sometimes of the show that comes in, Soslin Timison from his show. Remember, God Loves You and I'll Meet You at the Finish Line podcast, which you can follow him on all major platforms. Sas, we got about 40 seconds left here. You want to close this out with anything?
Oh, absolutely. So if you guys are interested, we're going to get some major development in the weeks to come. I'm going to come out with my website called Remember God Loves You and I'll Meet You at the Finish Line with the help of my host, Michael Gardner. So he and I will be together, and I'm so excited, looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to it too. Guys, before we close it out here, I want to remind the listeners here, Sauce here, if you don't mind, I'd like to get some information and announcements out here. We have some amazing guests coming up. We have joining us from Wales, United Kingdom. Tomorrow will be Amy Sinha. She is a digital voiceover artist. She has a lot of involvement with voiceovers in her country of United Kingdom. She'll be joining us from Wales via recording on this broadcast tomorrow. We're going to have part 2 with Noah Healy. Now, Noah Healy joined us earlier this week, guys, and we had part 1 with him. We had a discussion about a pending patent system that he's developing and still in early phases of that development, which basically had a lot of conversations with former President Trump on that. So we're going to have a conversation with part 2 with Noah on the idea and just what's behind this patent system, which has a lot of involvement with our economy, and it has could be the next fix to some of the issues we're facing in this country with the inflation, as well as an author and writer, Mr. David Edward, joining the show on Tuesday. And then we have a couple more guests joining us, which is in the pending stages. As soon as I get a confirmation from them, I will make an announcement. But, guys, we got some amazing guests joining us on the show. Some amazing, amazing guests. Sas, I know you're going to be part of that panel on Wednesday with Noah. It's going to be a quite interesting conversation we have with Mr. Healy.
Yes, it is. I'm excited.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy, a rather interesting guy, very high intellect type of individual. So looking forward to having him.
So, and then if you wouldn't mind, I also have some major guests coming up as well on my podcast this week. On Monday, tomorrow morning, we're having Adam Steen, who works with Mike Lindell in the Moment of Truth campaign. And he ran for Wisconsin State Assembly in the 63rd against Robin Voss and lost by only 20 votes. And
only 20, huh?
Yeah, and they think that there was that election was stolen. And then on Tuesday, we're having a major guest on us, Jonathan Wickman, at 1 p.m. He is a multi-millionaire, a business entrepreneur. He will be also joining. He ran for lieutenant governor and for the state of Wisconsin, and he's a very well-known individual, not only across America, but across Wisconsin. Most of you guys know. So join us, and we have very major guests coming up as well this week. And also stay tuned for Friday or for Saturday afternoon, as we're going to do a combined combination of in-person interview or in-person host with Michael Gardner in Orlando, Florida.
It'd be rather interesting where Sauce is basically taking his show to the Sunshine State, or also known as the Freedom State. So yes. Remember, God loves you, and I'll meet you at the Finish Line podcast. We'll be broadcasting next weekend, guys, in the Sunshine State here in Florida. So looking forward to having Sauce live in person here instead of via broadcast on a recording platform. So that's going to be some good stuff, Sauce. Really good stuff, man.
And if you're going to a soccer game, don't be afraid to come up to Michael and I and to say a quick hello and a quick photo, because we love to do that. That's
right, guys. Soslan and I will be at World Stadium next Sunday as Orlando United Soccer Club will be playing New York next Sunday evening at 7:30. I know there's some tickets still available. Guys, this is the first. I normally don't self-promote here for other companies, but guys, I'm going to do this free little plug-in here for Orlando United, which is a tremendous soccer club, and we'll leave it at like that as I close it out. If you head over to Ticketmaster, guys, I know there's some tickets still available for that game next Sunday at 7:30, so you're going to want to tune into that. Like I said, they're playing New York. It's going to be a really, really good game. I'm a big Orlando United Soccer Club fan. And let me just say, guys, if you haven't been over to Camping World Stadium in downtown Orlando, get your ass over there, because that stadium goes nuts. They put on like a tremendous presence there in Camping World Stadium. Really, really nice area too. So looking forward to possibly seeing some fans and some listeners if you're listening into the Orlando area. Yeah.
So all right. Well, remember, God loves you. And I'll meet you at the finish line, and have a blessed day.
All right, buddy.